Hello. First of all, I just want to welcome you and thank you all for coming on short notice. Steve Sertich was hired here as the fourth full-time women's head coach at Bemidji State before the 2006-2007 season. In his time here, BSU has piled up 81 victories, which ranks Coach Sertich on top of the coaching wins list here at BSU. The Beavers knocked off the number 1 ranked Mercyhurst in the second game here at Sanford Center. And of course, they spent a large portion of that season, the 2010-2011 season, ranked in the top 10 in the country. So without further ado, Coach Steve Sertich.
Thanks for being here today. It's a special day. It's a little bittersweet, I guess, and I have a lot of mixed emotions. I'm excited to move on in the next chapter of my life, and yet it's hard to say goodbye. I said goodbye to our team today, and actually you guys will probably get this better than some of the girls, but I said the theme today is from George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, and it went past a few of them, but I didn't mean it to go that way. But nonetheless, it's time. It's time for me to move on, and I look forward to the good things that are going to happen here too. I think, as Kelly said, we made some progress here over the years, and it was pretty messy at the start 8 years ago, and I think we've earned some respect in the league. And I wish I could say we won a lot of games here. Wish we would have won more. Wish we could have gotten more people in the building. But nonetheless, I'm proud of the progress that we've made here, and I look forward to following this team in the future. And I think good things are going to happen here at Bemidji State. I'd like to say a few thank yous, if I may, Tracy, before you start. First of all, the administration, President Hansen, thank you for being here today and your support. President Quisgard was here when I was hired. He was a good supporter of women's hockey. Vice President Mackey is not here, but he's always been a good supporter, and I could always count on him to be honest and fair for our program, and I appreciated that. The hiring committee, Tom was on it. I think maybe Bert was on it too, and Tom, you may remember, I think Sally was the only one that voted no when they hired me. But nonetheless, they did hire me, and and speaking of your program, Tom, talking to some of my colleagues in college hockey, I don't think it's a 50-50 relationship sometimes with the men's programs and the women's programs, and I always enjoyed working in the same building with you guys and the respect that you gave our program, so I appreciate that. Rick Golb, I want to thank him for he was the AD here when he hired me, and now that Tracy's here, I think, again, things are looking up. Tracy's been a great supporter of women's hockey, and I think that bodes well for the future. Some other people, Sarah Levike, Sarah's here. Sarah works behind the scenes a lot and keeps us in line with compliance because sometimes I make mistakes, I guess. And Sarah, thank you for your work. And Deb Slaugh's not here, but Deb does a lot of behind-the-scenes work for us, too. Coach Peters, I'd like to say something about Coach Peters. And again, I don't think sometimes women's hockey gets respect from the men's side in the men's hockey world. And Coach Peters is a Hall of Fame coach, and he was a great supporter of our program from I think, before I was here. Tom, you'd know better than I, but all 8 years that I've been here, he comes to the games, he calls, and that meant a lot to me. So I appreciate that. I want to thank all the assistant coaches I've had here and ones I have now, and just the staff and the BSU staff that have been so supportive for us. I want to thank Sally. Even though she didn't vote for me, she had to put up with me for 8 years, and I can say publicly now I'm not a very good loser, and she can attest to that, and Kelly Schultz can probably attest to that, and it's one of my many faults, but Sally had to put up with me many nights after losses, and I'm not a very nice person after a loss sometimes. The WCHA, I want to say thank you to them. It's been a big part of my life. I played in the 70s at CC and had a great time, and we had a great league back then, just as it is now. And it's my brother coached there. My kids played in the league, and it's been an honor to be part of that league and get a chance to coach on the women's side. I want to say thank you to the Sanford staff and all the things that they do for our program here, and they're easy to work with, and Every once in a while we have to find somebody to do the ice, but for the most part, they've been great to work with. And the loyal fans that we have. We don't have a lot of fans. It's going to get better here, but I sure appreciate the fans that would show up, and they're good fans, and they got to know our players, and I think that's the best part of it. And finally, the players. And that's what it's all about in coaching and teaching, and I've been lucky to have great players here, but I think more importantly, great kids. It's a joy of my life. I think anybody that teaches and coaches, we're the ones that win, because we get to spend time with great young people and maybe make a difference in their life, maybe not, but they're the ones we work for, and it's a pleasure to have had players both at the high school level and here at Bemidji State.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I certainly want to thank Steve for his time at BSU and the difference he's made in the hockey program here. Certainly a time to celebrate, and I know Sally's already doing that, but it certainly is a time to celebrate what he's accomplished when he started and now where the program's at, and he certainly made a difference in that. I'd like to sneak around and watch practices a lot, just because it brings me back to what I like to do, and that's be around the students and watch teaching going on. And it was one Saturday morning I stopped in, and the team had played the day before and had struggled in face-offs and all that, and then I went and watched, and Steve was pretty animated. He was just getting after him a little bit and making sure that was an emphasis going on. And the one thing that I really think is important when you evaluate and you look at coaches and you look at teams, and I always call it the E.F. Hutton approach. And when he speaks, everyone listens, and that's what was going on. And in my opinion, that's one of the biggest traits you can have as a coach, and something that you should always look for. Student athletes are our main focus, as they always are. It's been since I started, and that's what we talked with the students prior to today. We'll start a national search for a new women's hockey coach. The importance of that is the objective is to find the best coach available. We want to make sure that we follow all the policies and procedures that the state requires. We've got excellent facilities here, excellent opportunity here on the campus. Our campus is beautiful. We play in the best women's hockey league with the WCHA. It's an excellent opportunity for someone to continue to build on the program that's here. So that's our goal, is to hire the best person available. In closing, I remember when I played my last college football game and season was over, and I remember there was an early gentleman that came to all of our games and never said boo the whole time. And all he did, he came up to me after my last game and he said, "I really enjoyed watching you." And I walked away, and it never really hit me until after I got done and I got older and had kids of my own playing. And so, Steve, I want to tell you, I really enjoyed working with you, and I enjoyed watching your teams. And Sally, thanks for sharing him with us too. So, but again, we're excited. This is a time to celebrate, and that's what we're planning to do. So, open it up for questions.
I guess I'll start with you, Coach. You said it's time. Can you go into more detail why you think it's time to kind of hang them up right now?
Well, my knees kind of told me that it's time, but no, I just came to a realization that, I think both for me and the program, I think it'd be healthy. I think I've had a great run. Hockey's been good to me, but just felt, I think they always tell you, when it's time to go, and I did, and I'm also excited about the program because I think a change is good, and I think it'll be really a positive change for me and the program.
Do you feel like you've left your mark on the program? It might be kind of a tough question to answer, but what do you think?
Well, like I said, I think we made some progress, and I think probably the most important part is I think we gained some respect in our league. I mean, as Tracy said, it's the best college hockey league in North America, It's both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing to be in this league, and it's also tough to win in this league. And I wish we could have made a little bit more progress in that win-loss column, but I think we gained respect from the teams in our league and even nationally to a certain degree.
The teams in our league and even nationally to a certain degree.
How'd your team take it?
Well, I think some probably celebrated a little bit silently, but no, they took it well. Sometimes you drop hints during the course of the year without saying things, and I think some knew that it probably was going to be time, so they took it well, and they're more resilient than we are, so they'll be fine.
When did you decide? When the season started?
I kind of thought this would be my last year, and as the year went on, like I said, I just realized, this will be my last year, and we were hoping to end up in the final face-off here. It didn't quite work out the way I had it scripted, but nonetheless, it just came to pass.
You gonna try and stay involved a little bit? Call up a new coach and give him advice?
No. I wouldn't do that. I didn't do that when my kids played, and I won't do it. Only when asked would I offer anything. But
would it be possible to have a favorite memory?
Well, I think of two games specifically. Well, we had a great series against North Dakota about 3 years ago in the playoffs, and we didn't win, but I was never so proud of a team as how we played over there. And it's a best of three. They had the Lamoureux twins. They had a good hockey team. We lost the first game, won the second, and went into overtime in the third. And it was just great hockey. And like I said, even though we didn't win, I was really proud of our kids out there. And I think making the final face-off back in 2010, I think it was, when we went in as a 6th seed against St. Cloud and lost the first game, came back and won the next two. It was it's like going to the state tournament all over again for me. So those are two memories. And we've had some great players. I mean, Erin Cody left a mark here, and she was an amazing player. And I always bring her name up. I did with our players too. It was a pleasure to have a player like that. Susanna Tomshikova not only was our first All-American and our only All-American, but she brought something special every day, and that doesn't happen too often. So I've had some good moments and some great players.
Any other questions?
I have a question for Tracy. When do you? So you're going to start a national search? Is that starting immediately, or do you have your timetable set?
With the state of Minnesota, we have to assemble the search committee. There's some procedures we have to follow first, but once all that paperwork's submitted and we have to gain approval, then we'll get it going. But we want to do it as soon as possible and move it along and make sure that we're following the proper procedures.
Is the idea to have a new coach in as soon as you possibly can? Is that a new coach in as soon as you possibly can? Is that?
Yes, that's a good way to put it, but I don't have a timetable on that. We want to make sure that we do things properly and we do get the best person available.
Is there anything specific you're looking for when considering people, or? The
best person available, yep.
The best person available.
Yep. We've, as I mentioned before, we do have a lot to sell here, and we need to do that, and we need to get the person that fits best in this, not only BSU, but also in Bemidji as well.
One last chance for a question for Coach Sertich or Tracy.
Are you and Sally planning on staying in Bemidji?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know yet. I've got some grandkids and kids to visit. Sometimes when you coach, you miss a few things in their lives, and I know I have a daughter in Florida that probably will need help during the winter months for babysitting. So that's part of the plan. But we will be in the area, I think, for most of the year.
Coach, I just want to thank you for always being so available to do interviews pregame, postgame, and all your support over the years of my broadcasts. It has been a blessing to work with you, a class act, and anytime you want to come up to the press box and help me, do color commentary or anything.
I don't know if I'll be very good at that, but yeah, and same thing back, Kelly. And it's so great to have you, and I know our families appreciated having the games online. And I did miss a couple of interviews with you. My daughter got after me on the one, and Sally, I think, on the other. But nonetheless, it's been a good run. Thank you.